Welcome back. You're watching Financial Planner. Now let's talk a little bit more about money. If you have any questions about your money, remember we always love to read emails. You can email us at financialplanner@utvmoney.com. Also, like I said earlier, the Facebook page seems to be getting a lot of attention. Check it out. There's lots of stuff going on over there. You can see clips of the show over there. You can also leave your comments and questions for all of our financial planners. Sumit Ved is here, and he's going to take a query from Shudipta Pal. She wrote into us. She says, "Hi, my name is Shudipta. I'm in my early 30s. Annual income is 4 lakhs, and she has two insurance premiums, two insurance policies. One of them is worth 7,200, the other is 4,600. She also has invested 50,000 rupees in PPF. Now her question is, and which is something that a lot of people ask us, is this enough insurance? Do I need to get more insurance? What would you suggest, and where should I sort of look?" Also, then she says, can you suggest a mutual fund that is safe and has a high return now? So let's look at these two questions separately. First, let's start with insurance. And Sumit, the question is, how does one pick up insurance? You know, there are lots of people and companies out there peddling insurance to me. So do I pick one with a snazzy advertising campaign that impresses me at the moment and makes me feel insecure enough to say, oh wow, I really need that insurance? Or should there be more calibrated thought into X, Y, and Z factors that go into buying insurance?
Yep, I think the last term which you used is spot on for any time when you talk about insurance, which is buying insurance. You know, you have to buy insurance. Please, for God's sake, always remember, do not invest in insurance. You know, these are two separate terms meaning two separate things. So when you go about buying insurance, the basic objective there is to get adequate insurance. Adequate insurance means that in a circumstance in which something happens to the principal earner of family and he's no more, he or she is no more, in that case that insurance amount comes and suffice enough for that particular family to live their life without getting a financial impact.
Right.
Emotional impact is huge, but we are talking about financial impact. And the whole science behind calculating the right amount of insurance is known as human life value. And simply put, human life value is the value of a human being in terms of what is his earning or her earning capabilities, what are the liabilities, what are the expenses, how they are going to articulate their future life. And based on this is a mathematical, calculation which throws a number to you which requires, which you require as an individual, as a family, to have that much of insurance for.
So to take that point forward, so if I am the only person who's earning money in my family, how do I calculate the human life value? I know that my income is this much. I know that I have a loan that I need to pay off. And I know that, okay, I have this house, which is sort of the only asset that I have. I have maybe a car. So what is my human life value? How do I calculate it back of the envelope?
So let's take your income is 6 lakhs. Is that the income in that?
Yeah, she has 4 lakhs.
She's got 4 lakhs. So let's take her case. 4 lakhs is her income, and she hasn't mentioned about liability. And let's assume she's got a liability of 25 lakh rupees in form of a housing loan. Okay. So 4 lakhs is income, 25 lakh rupees is a liability. Then we see what are the current assets you have. When you see the current asset, we usually advise, do not see your primary house property in which you live as an asset.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Because you can't sell it off. You know, you're going to stay in that house.
Where will you go if you
where
sell
will you go?
that?
So it's not technically an asset. It's a theoretical asset. It's not a practical asset which can really help you in case of tough times. The only option is you sell it and buy a smaller one. That's an extreme case, you know. So ideally we keep it out. So in that case, what you need to do is keep that asset out. Car is not an asset technically. It's a consumption asset again. So in a very simply put, in this case, 4 lakh plus 25 lakhs, your human life value which needs to get adequately insured is worth 29 lakh rupees. Because, you know, tomorrow if you're not there, you need to repay for the housing loan. That is one. And the second is you need to have enough income for the family to really go and live the life out to be. And we are putting it in a very simplistic manner. Ideally, we should also add the goals which you have. Aspiration for your family members. If your children are there, what do you want your child to be? Because you have given them dreams, and if you're not there, it's not right for them not to live their dreams part of it, you know. So that's very important. There are your parents and other responsibilities which you want to really go and take care of it. So it's a complicated perspective. Get involved in calculating human life value. Understand, try and build 2-3 different kind of scenarios. Choose the one which is comfortable to you, and also based on that human life value, go and do research on what is the right product which suits you. There is a perception that insurance is costly. It is wrong. Pure term cover is not at all costly. There are various good online insurance covers which are available, pure term, which are coming out to be very, very cheap. So in this case, if we have to advise, hypothetically, we don't have any human life value, that go and buy an insurance worth 50 lakhs, the range might vary from 8,000 to 12 to 13,000, 14,000. I'm just giving you a broad range because medical condition also matters there itself, but it's not it's not all that costly.
Considering what the sort of effects that will come through should something happen to you.
It's peace of mind. So you need to have insurance. And one more point which we want to highlight here itself, adequacy of insurance is very important. So all the viewers who are watching us, the question we are asking them is, yes, you have a life insurance cover, but ask yourself, is it adequate?
Right.
Is it adequate? My own sense, very rarely in India people have adequate insurances.
What about different insurance policies? Do I need, for my life insurance especially, is it okay for me to take 2 different premiums? Do I just need one? Is there a number? Can I do more?
Usually if your amount of cover is less than 1 crore, do not diversify as a thumb rule. But if you go higher on the amount, you need a cover worth 5 crore rupees, 4 crore rupees, then it's better to have 2, 3 different kind of insurance companies trying to give. One, you get a diversification in customer servicing. The second is most of the insurance companies for higher amount of covers have reinsurance done through various agencies, so that also get diversified. So from that extent you can do that, but up to 1 crore, don't worry about it. Okay. Pick a good provider, understand the cost, understand the brand which is there, understand the customer service, and go for it.
All right. So basically do your research. Don't blindly pick up insurance. All right. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll learn about the term dividend distribution tax. Let's find out from Sumit what that means after this. Well, thank you for staying with Financial Planner. Let's learn a brand new term for today's show. The term that we are tossing across to our certified financial planner is dividend distribution tax. Sumit, take it on.
Okay, first let's spend a minute in understanding what dividend is, because dividend for different instrument means different things. In case of equity, which is direct equity, if you're investing in a company as a business, their dividend means it's one of the means the way a company distributes its profit to its shareholders. Okay, in that case, there is a dividend distribution tax of 15%, which is built into the dividend which comes. So dividend in hand of end investor is tax free, but before that, the company deducts 15% and pay it to government in terms of trying to do, follow the tax regime which government is trying to do. So that's direct equity as a dividend distribution tax and dividend. In case of mutual fund, a dividend is not a profit which is getting distributed to you. Dividend is basically the gains which have happened on the unit capital which get distributed out of you. So there is a net asset value which comes down post the dividend declaration. So if net asset value has gone 40 and you declare a dividend worth 10 rupees, then your net asset value has come down from 40 to 30. So it's different from equities into mutual fund. In mutual fund, dividend distribution tax varies between, on the debt side there is a dividend distribution tax. On the equity side there is no dividend distribution tax. So the end dividend in hand of customers from equity-oriented mutual fund is tax-free. There is no dividend distribution tax because that's anyway levied on the companies when it is happening. So there's no multiplicity of that. On the debt side, the ranges of dividend distribution tax for individual varies from 12.5 to 25% because there's some new liquid fund dividend distribution tax which has come up in terms of trying to match them with the banks and all. So in debt the variation of dividend distribution tax between individuals and corporate varies depending on which product plan you are getting into. So our advice will be sit with your advisor and try and figure out before you choose which option it is there.
Right. So if I have a mutual fund, do I need to be concerned about this? And you just explained it all. But if I have, let's say, an equity mutual fund, how and where do I look for this tax?
No, you should not be concerned on a mutual fund level. You should be concerned at the budget level. If there's some new changes which are happening itself, there is a direct tax code which is coming up which will change a lot of this because as per the current norm which they are talking about, a lot of changes will happen on dividend distribution tax. Might be it come on, might be it goes out. There's lack of clarity which we are still waiting for, but definitely at budget level you need to do that. And also whenever you are trying to take a choice between dividend distribution and dividend reinvestment and a growth option, always be aware that dividend has some element of taxation which you can check it up. which you can check it out. As a thumb rule, we always advise individuals to try and go for the growth option because it really works much better for them over a period of time for compounding. If you have a need for regular income, then there can be structures which can get created for you.
Right. Also, before we wrap up the show, we just wanted to touch back upon Shudipta Pal's email query about her insurance and then mutual funds. We got to the insurance, but for the mutual fund, she says, can you suggest a mutual fund that is safe and has a high return now? And Sumit and I were discussing that this is a query that comes in from a lot of our viewers. Sumit, I hear that a lot when I anchor and people call in. They say, hey, do you have, can you name like a fund that will give me, I have 1 year's time frame, I have 10 lakh rupees, I want to invest it in a fund and I want to get maximum returns. And what is your sense about that? I mean, is that a trader's mentality, as it were?
No, it's lack of knowledge, and which is appalling. You know, people work so hard to earn their monies and incomes, but when it comes to investment, they don't do their homework, or they don't have real good advisors or financial planners with whom they sit and ask this question. I think that's where channels like yours are doing a great job in terms of disseminating this knowledge to people and investors who are watching. They should really pay attention, because in any kind of an investment, risk and return goes hand in hand. Higher the risk, higher the return. So you cannot ask for a mutual fund or any such investment which says low risk, high return. It doesn't exist. There's no magic pill. So if you are asking for a higher return, you need to have higher risk and have a longer period of time.
All right, so there's really no magic wand or a magic pill that will give you that high returns with very little risk. On that note, let's take a short break. Remember, Financial Planner airs on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5:30. Sumit Ved is a friend of the show. He'll be back again maybe next week or maybe the week after, but you can catch him over here. And like we said, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Smriti Rao. With that, from the entire team here, goodbye.